This is a First and 10 Monday on Coaching Football with Brian Clee.
On this First and 10 Monday, we're going to take a look at attacking a two-high even structure using what we call trio, which is trips opposite of a nub tight end. First off, we had to decide, are they going to be playing cover 3 or are they going to be playing cover 2? Both were on film when we were checking things out, and ultimately we had to make sure that we were good with our blocking scheme and we knew exactly which one we were going to get, so we know how to attack going forward from there. And ultimately, if you take a look at the numbers, when they're got the strong safety rolled down, and this is all we told the quarterback, hey, where's that strong safety? Where the two safeties, their numbers should be this and this. If the strong safety is rolled down, we should be attacking the nub side. And the reason why, if you draw a line down the middle, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half defenders over there. Meanwhile, the offense has 1, 2, 3, half for the center, half for the quarterback. They have 4 players over there, and then after the A-back works his stretch path, we're going to pick up another one to get to 5. So going stretch over there, we will get a numbers advantage. And then more importantly, and I'll show you the difference here when we get to stretch and swing to the right. More importantly, we have angles where we think the Y can actually get that 90 technique reached. The tackle can get to that 6I. Got to take a great step. And the guard can get to the 3 technique. The center can get to the 0 technique. We can get the cutoff by the backside 2I. And then we had our tackle, unless that 5 is stunting real hard, you're off and running. And then out here, we had lock down and swing by the Z. Okay, a bubble by the Z. So right now, let's attack that stretch side because we're going to pick up a half man, and more importantly, we got leverage against cover 3 to the nub side. Meanwhile, the strong safety, he's rolled back. They have an outside linebacker apex. Right now, you cut the defense in half. If we want to attack this side, the defense has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The offense has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, half. They have 7. So against cover 2, you can do the simple math, 11 guys on the field. There's 5 guys left over there. For the defense, only 4 for the offense. So we want to attack the swing side right now. Get the block on the outside linebacker, stop the corner, get our bubble out there. Quarterback is going to catch, and this was pre-snap. Catch and throw out to the Z right now. We've got 3-on-3 out there, and most importantly, the safety's playing off deep. He's a cover 2 safety. He's got to be able to run all around over here. Let's attack that stretch, the swing side of the play. Big issue with stretch. Our Y is never going to get that corner reached. We are never. I mean, that's just a hard ask. And then on top of that, because he has to go further, that free safety, that corner can play it extra hard because he's got that free safety over the top. Not much different from the outside linebacker, but the leverage there, that free safety is going to have time to pull his trigger and determine what's going on. And then on top of that, the other place where we're out leveraged is that is a hard run for the center. So right now, our center and our tight end, they don't have good, easy blocks. Okay, the tackles block, that's not changing on the 6I, and the guards block on the 3 technique. Those 2 blocks are not changing, and nothing's really changing on the backside here. But we are never going to get that corner reached, and we are probably not going to get the 20 technique linebacker reached. On top of that, the free, because the reach is longer for the Y, that corner being out there 4x4 or 5x5 and being a hard squat corner, that is a harder reach. than having a 90 technique that's only 1 or so yard outside of you. So we feel like, hey, there's probably 3 guys going to show up with at least good leverage over there that we're not going to get a great block. So let's throw the ball out to the swing side. So that was how we started the game. Do we have numbers to run stretch? Great. Let's go attack the stretch side. Or do we have numbers to run swing against cover 2? And I know the block by the X here, this is a little bit hard, but let's attack the cover 2 side with swing. Off that, our play action, off the swing right ultimately, swing and go right, X, you have to get outside, H, make a quick read on that safety, Z, give me your same swing fake, our A back, stepping left to block. We went with half slide pass pro, so the A back had to make sure I draw that up right. You take off like sweep, but you're looking back inside, half slide with everybody else. And we told our Y, stay in and block. We're not looking for you, man. Catch it, pump, and then make your throw, work outside in. We did have this twice. Once it would have been wide open. Our guy out at receiver, I didn't coach him up enough to make sure he understood the difference between swing and go. So our second attack was, let's get Veer Triple going. Talking about those numbers one more time. Ultimately, if we called Veer, by rule, the first guy on or outside the tackle, so 5 technique no matter what, he is the dive key. The next defender that is the pitch key, by rule, ends up being the first guy on or outside of him. So if we had the cover 3 look, that 50 technique would be the pitch key. We would have a stack read. Meanwhile, against cover 2, the apex outside linebacker would be the pitch key. If we called Veer Triple, this was a no-go. So this never got called in the game. If we're doing that right now, again, we should be attacking. Once the A-back crosses the line here, we'll get 5. So if the A-back does that, we'll get 5 offensive players over there to 4.5, and we got good leverage for our stretch play. If we go Veer right now without any adjustments, they're all working their tracks to the left. Okay, everything's good for the offensive line. No problems. Okay, in fact, there's no problems. Big issue here. That tackle doesn't have leverage for that 50 technique. That's why we got to stack read it. Again, no huge issues. We're going to have everyone blocked over there. The big problem, if we go Veer, all right, quarterback sits and meshes, there's our stack read, the blocking perimeter rules to make this triple. One of these guys, either we can smoke with the X, we can bubble with the H, or if we just called triple the Z, knew he was the guy bubbling as opposed to H. Oh, we're blocking a down safety right now. That's not the end of the world, but this guy doesn't have to get vertical. Right now, if we just straight up stock block it and we're out there, that down safety, he knows he's got the free over top of him. So if you would want to go play action off the same look, that free safety is going to be able to come up and take that vertical. Corner's going to be able to take that vertical, and you still have, this guy can play real hard. That down safety can play real hard to get outside of that H's block. So we're not going to have leverage when we get out to the perimeter off that stack read. So that's why, again, it's a no-go when we had cover 3, because really they got 2 guys that can play the quarterback to the pitch. They can put one guy on dive, one guy on quarterback, and one guy fighting real hard, a real hard block for the H to get out there. And you can't just slip by them, otherwise they got 3 guys for 3 options. So we didn't love Veer Triple against that cover 3 look, and it's something that we wouldn't have called if there wasn't, if after we probed and found out, hey, they're going to be cover 2 versus cover 3, that's something we weren't going to call. Meanwhile, if they're cover 2, there's 6 defenders for 7 offensive players over here, as we mentioned, and now tackle's there. Everyone's working their tracks off to the left. A-back, shuffle, shuffle. Bang A gap, or most likely with that 2I, you're going to bend out to B gap. And now the pitch defender is that apex outside linebacker. Against cover 2, I'd really, if that safety gets way too far away, you got to straight up stalk block it. If at all possible, that safety gets out a little bit wider. He's also opening up the post some, but that safety gets out a little bit wider. X 2 steps, and then you're working a crack. H, arc around. Quarterback, attack the perimeter. Ultimately, what does the 5 technique? 5 technique in the game closed. Our quarterback was a sophomore at the time, though. He didn't pull it. If he pulled it, he's out on the edge. He could have got a bunch of big time yards. And then there's the issue, you know, what's that apex defender do? Later on in that same season, when we got to week 9, that guy attacked the quarterback, and we flipped it out twice during the game to the triple, the Z on the triple, and got nice first down gains later on, week 9. And then lastly, Verts left switch off of that. So let's give the same look. Half slide it to the left. A back step up. You're looking in the B gap area. Q, get your mesh. And this is the biggest reason I want to crack. If we weren't cracking, we just call Verts left. If we have been cracking, push, get to the post, wheel it up, give us the bubble fake, and backside. If we can get inside that free and just get vertical, we're going to stay vertical. If that free works his butt off to keep leverage on that, we don't want that free to also be in on the other side there. So make sure you drag it across, so that way either that free is going to choose to run with it and leave the post completely wide open, or if that free keeps dropping, there's going to be a window at some point to maybe come back to that drag. So we got to make sure we keep the safety on the backside out of it. And our ultimately, we're looking, number 1, can we hit that X on rhythm? Number 2, the read for R4 terminology is the H on the wheel. And then the rush, if all that's covered, we're going to hit there, or it turns into release time, get the ball away. Our last run concept that didn't have a read to it was running stretch to the trip side. Offensive line, they're on, over, up is how we teach that. If someone's on, you block them. If there's no one on, you work over, try to overtake. And if you can't overtake, climb up to the linebacker. So guard and tackle, probably take the 5 in the 30 technique. Center, you got to get the 2I. Backside tackle, get to the 3 technique. And backside guard, get up to that 20 technique. Y, run off the 6I. Again, really good play. We got numbers. That corner and free, they're non-factors over on that side. H, you're working to crack. Z, check that apex defender. If he's in hard, you got to take him. If that apex defender is working outside, whoever doesn't take him between the Z and the H can work up to the safety. And X, you work outside. If that corner will turn and run you with you, just go ahead and run them off. We'll get out in space, that is fine, but you're responsible for that corner. A back, get the ball from the quarterback, get some depth, read what you got going on out here. Quarterback, give us a quick little fake, like you're going to keep the ball off to the left. Ultimately, if any of those perimeter guys become hard to block, that apex defender's flat out not helping with anything vertical. That corner is just taking off inside. The strong safety's running the alley quick. We can go to play action, take care of the pass pro, half slide. That's kind of my jam. That's what I fully believe in. Was at Ferris State this week, and they are a man slide, a half slide team as well. Was really good clinic. The good vertical pass setting, big time to just work on getting vertical and letting games sort out. So that kind of reconfirmed. That's kind of their number one pass pro. Especially here, you're going to get the A-back faking out. So A-back, you give that stretch look to get things going. And ultimately, if we go verts to the right here, okay, X, get outside. If that corner doesn't turn and run with you, you are the rhythm. Get the ball out to him now, quarterback. Quarterback does turn and run. We only have one deep defender to defend the remaining two verticals. So H, you got to make sure you stay outside of the hash, and Z, you cannot go further than the other hash. And there's our read is throw opposite of that strong safety. One of those two guys should be open. We do have to be aware, what does that backside free do? He should be working to that tight end. Okay? We should be good. If that free is cheating over it all, and this is something you got to study on film, you got to make sure you know what's probably coming. We will go with Bazooka, and all that does is tell the quarterback, hey, work backside. So now, that Y, he's the first look, and maybe you want to start here. You're worried about that free falling off. Hey, make that your first look. That corner doesn't have leverage inside, and if that free starts working the field, he gets that play action. You know, that's ultimately, you'd be telling the coach up in the booth, what's that free doing? When we run the ball, when we run stretch to the right, is he going with it? If he is, go Bazooka, because you should have a window with leverage for your Y. Or is he sitting and respecting the Y? He's sitting and double checking. Is he taking off on a pass or not? If he's tempoing it some and not flying to the stretch side, you'd want to go verts. If he's flying to the other side, that's when you'd ultimately want to go Bazooka. So now our read, everybody else's routes end up being the same. What we do tell our guys, when you are away from the call, so ultimately that Y, you probably aren't going to be open at 15 yards and the ball definitely doesn't come out. Turn that into a comeback. Anticipate being a comeback over here as the X receiver for the quarterback. So there's play action pass off a non-read run, also part of our game plan and attack out of trio. Lastly, we'll talk about some of the quick pass concepts that we took into the game. First one, we were expecting that cover two, as I mentioned. Let's attack that corner and we'll force the cover two to execute. So first off, pass pro, we would be half slide to the left. Your choice if you want to keep the A back in. Most of the time, ball's coming out pretty quick here, so we're going to have a coach check this backside constantly. We'll go hitch with the Y, arrow with the A, until we want to maybe attack something deep over there. Quarterback, quick drop here, and then for us, semi stood for slant, attacking the seam area, and in by the X. So 5 yard in, and then our H, the number 2 receiver, is going to be taking a 3-step slant. Okay, and then H, we're isolating that corner. He would be corner route. And ultimately, the primary read, what's that corner do? And do they push over here with the safety, and does the corner drop? Corner drops. Now we can be inside out on that apex defender. Corner sits at all, we're going to have a ton of leverage to drop that corner route in. What ended up happening in the game primarily, the safety and the outside linebacker left a void, and we hit that slant, I think, twice during the course of the game. So ultimately, high-low concept, which we're going to talk about smash in a second here, great way of attacking cover two that we utilized in the game. Regular smash concept, same pass pro. Slide it to the left here. Let's have the same hitch out of the Y, arrow out of the A. And when we ended up going smash, I think the best way for us, we're calling it high-low, right? Switch. So these guys are the switchers. They're the high-low. Corner route out of H now. X is on a hitch. And to try and keep that safety out of there, especially if he's outside leverage, let's run a quick slant, a little bit deeper slant than a three-step slant out of the Z there. That either that free safety has to push over, which if that free safety is pushing over, that means we eventually can attack that weak side, or the strong safety has to take that, which means we're going to be able to high-low the corner once again. One adjustment you could have, if you know the safety's playing deep, you could have the Z sit down, but ultimately we're trying to isolate that corner and out-leverage the apex outside linebacker when we're calling smash, in our terminology, high-low right switch. And then lastly, against cover three, same pass pro. Half slide to the left. Same routes out of the Y and the A. Keep that consistent back there. Make sure they're not running crazy far. And then high-low right. All right, we got the free is in the middle of the field. He's inside leverage of you now as a Z. Go ahead, take a hitch. Clear it out. Be ready to come back at 14 yards. And then H, quick to the flat. And ultimately, when we're calling high-low right, your fade out. Just what's that low underneath defender do? Does he expand immediately? Hit the Z. Hit that hitch. Does he sit and not expand, especially against cover three? Then hit the H on the quick out. What also often can happen, the corner's bailing, the X feels the timing of the ball coming out, and the X can pick up a block. It ends up being a kind of a glorified screen out there. So hope you enjoyed all of that. Some ideas working out of what we call trio, nub tight end with trips to the other side here on this 1st and 10 Monday.
If you think it would be fun to participate in a 1st and 10 Monday in some way, shape, or form, whether that is you presenting an offensive formation or two and how you would go about game planning against how I would try to defend that, and I'm going to exchange some ideas about how we're going to game plan to defend that offensive concept and those formations, or if you want to flip that script and you want to have me present an offensive formation or two and some offensive concepts and how we're going to game plan for how you would go about trying to defend us, and you're exchanging your ideas about how to put together a defensive game plan to stop that. That'd be great. There's my contact information. Hit me up on Twitter, leave a comment down below, or shoot me an email.